All right, hey, this is Ryan Chamberlain, author of Now You Know Why Some Succeed and Others Fail Using the Same System. We're going to talk about law number 3. Now, this is the third law of the posture laws. Posture, remember, is how people receive us. And this is a big one. This one actually really makes the statement to yourself and to the people around you as to who you are, what you're about, and why they'd want to do business with you. It's called the law of the takeaway. See, people want what they can't have. And that's basically what this law says, but it also makes a statement of your belief system as to what it is that you're presenting. So we're going to talk about the takeaway. We're going to talk about this, and let me begin this conversation, this class, this course on the takeaway with really the mindset of recruiting. See, this is what I learned through the years. There's a certain amount of work that has to be done to succeed in any networking business. You're going to have to share enough presentations. You're going to have to, as you'll find out later in one of the chapters, move enough marbles. Stay tuned for that one. But basically, you're going to have to share this with enough people. Share your opportunity with enough people if you want to hit your goals. I think that's pretty simple. But what causes people not to do it? It's the emotional side of the business. See, really, to actually come across the right way, to actually succeed in your business, you're going to have to take your system and become emotionally unattached to the outcome of the system. Meaning you do have to get to the point where you want everybody on your team, but you don't care if anybody joins your team. You're moving forward with or without them. The only way I know how to represent this concept is with the law of the takeaway. Meaning you have to be willing to tell them no. You know, if you get to the point where you're taking it away from people, it's kind of like, let's say you were running a big company and you ran an ad, and that ad was to bring in people that you could interview for your company. Well, you'd have people knocking at the door. You'd have people calling, setting appointments. You'd have people coming by. Some of them wouldn't show up. Let me ask you, what would you do if someone didn't show up to a job interview? Well, you'd cross them off the list. Why? Because you're going to say no to them. They didn't handle you the right way from the beginning, so you don't need them. You're just going to go next. You're going to go to the next person. What if someone came to the interview and they engaged with you in an unprofessional manner? They said things you didn't like. They made you feel awkward. Well, it doesn't matter that you need someone for the job that you're trying to fulfill for your company. What matters is they're not the right person. So you're unemotionally attached to it. It's next. You're going to keep the ad running, or you're just going to interview more people. See, the law of the takeaway allows you to frame your thinking in this industry as if you're the ultimate interviewer. You only need a few teams to help create momentum with a few key people. You've got to become one of those individuals that is actually doing the right thing so that you can find the other individuals that will. This is what the law of the takeaway is about. Here we go. Your goal should be to get everyone you can into your business, everyone you can to be a part of your community. But you have to do it on your terms, not on their terms. So this is why answering questions is so crucial, because the person that's asking the questions, as we talked about in law number 2, is always in control. This is why you have to stay in control. It's because this is your terms. When someone says, hey, just send me a video, if that's not part of your system and you just break out of what the system is to go just do whatever it is that they want, you're not in control, they're in control. It's okay to take it away and say, listen, John, that's not the right way we do things. I want to do it the right way, or not do it at all. See, individuals aren't expecting you to react that way. Individuals aren't expecting you to stay in control of the situation. They're not expecting you to take it away from them. You know, if someone keeps asking questions or they say things like, I don't know that this is for me, and you know they haven't seen anything, it would be better for you to say, hey, John, listen, this may or may not be even right for you. We wouldn't know until you take a look. Or, John, how about we just get back together in 30, 60, or 90 days? Obviously, right now's not the right time for you. let's just hook up later on. I'll share with you how it's working. See, people are not expecting for you to tell them no, but you have to be willing to tell them no. See, during the process of selling or recruiting, it almost always comes to the takeaway. And the reason it comes to this is you have to battle for posture. And as you're communicating with people, what I want to teach you in this Now You Know series is that it's the way you think about all this information, the way you apply posture to your system that's going to determine the reaction. See, if a prospect is putting up resistance, if a prospect is saying to you, I don't know that this sounds right, you saying to them, well, listen, this may or may not be right for you, but wouldn't you agree with me that a sharp, intelligent person would get all the facts before they made a decision? You know, that's an example of someone with true posture, someone that actually wants to make a statement of professionalism in response to someone trying to make a decision before they've seen anything. Hey, John, wouldn't it make sense that, I know you haven't seen anything now, but if timing is bad, how about we get together in 30, 60, or 90 days? And see, you've now put them off instead of allowing them to put you off. See, getting to this point is one of the ultimate signs that you've arrived at posture. You know, I want to start ending this section with a couple of thoughts. One is amateurs convince, professionals sort. You're sifting and sorting here, everyone. You're not trying to convince people. Big difference between convincing and persuading. Convincing, you're trying to talk them in, beg them in, plead them in. Persuading, you're using the feeling you're creating, the idea that you're getting them to really absorb information the right way and to receive you the right way as someone they want to do business with. Now, as I talk about this, let me say this. People do business with people they know, like, and trust. Law number one. People do business with people that stay in control. Law number two. And people do business with people that are willing to take it away. See, if you take it away, oftentimes people go after it. I'm reminded of a story where at one time Ryan Chamberlain tried to sell cars. I wasn't a car salesman. Don't consider myself a salesman to this day by under salesman definition, although we all sell. But I was trying to sell some cars. I went to a training where they taught me about the takeaway. I had never heard of the takeaway. I might have been in my early 20s, but you know, I'm paying attention. And I came to a point in a sales process with a lady one time, and I'll never forget this. She told me, you know, what kind of car she wanted, and I showed her a few cars, and we got to where we were talking about price, and I was trying to close the deal. I was trying to make the sale, and I said to her, well, ma'am, you know, maybe this vehicle's too expensive for you. Maybe we need to be looking at a lesser vehicle. And she said to me, son, who are you to tell me what I can afford and what I can't afford? She said, I want to speak to your manager. And she did speak to my manager. She went and complained about me. She went and fought the fact that I had told her that she couldn't have something. But you know what happened? She ended up buying the car. After the fact, and of course I wasn't involved in that process, but the idea that I told her she couldn't afford something made something inside of her want to prove that she could, and it made her rethink her position on everything. My sales manager later came up and said, listen, you probably shouldn't say it in that tone of voice, but let me give you a high five because you just made the largest profit sale of the week. And I learned this from that lesson. Yeah, we got to handle ourselves. We got to get better. We got to work the rough edges off. But people want what they can't have. And in this industry, it's no different. You've got to believe enough in what you're doing to be able to take it away from people when it's not going down and feeling the way that it should feel. And when you do that, it's a sign of ultimate posture, and people will want to be in business with you. They'll be knocking at your door to join your team.